And we're joined by now former senior diplomat, Ambassador Mohan Kumar, to take this discussion further and understand from Indian perspective as well. Ambassador Kumar, thank you very much. Appreciate, sir, for taking our time for this special broadcast on our DD India channel. To begin with, the timings of the dialogue amidst the ongoing international conflicts and the shift in the current world order, the dynamics, strategic dynamics and the global outlook in the immediate neighborhood and beyond Europe also, that is, has implication on both nations. And when two sides meet today, what are they going to talk on 10th?
Yes, Sakal, thank you very much for having me. I think you put it very well. I think the background for these talks is a kind of strategic turbulence that we have not seen for many, many years. I mean, even while Ukraine is burning, we have a problem in Gaza. And Tony Blinken will actually be coming to Delhi from a G7 meeting. I think they've taken some decisions, at least by way of a statement, in terms of conveying a message to Israel. He then goes back to Washington, and then there is a meeting between Joe Biden and Xi Jinping in California. So what I'm trying to convey is that there is, of course, strategic turbulence, but there is also a diplomatic dance that's going on in the world. Some of these India is not part of.
Right.
So frankly, I find this 2+2 extremely timely. We need to understand from our American friends what is the prognosis in the Middle East. Tony Blinken has just finished a round of talks with Arab leaders. So we need to know what is going on in the Middle East because, as you know, we have 8 to 9 million people who reside in the Middle East. Wider conflagration is not in our interest. Secondly, as your correspondent in Washington pointed out, there is a roadmap. And interestingly, the roadmap is expected to act as a bridge between the 2015 Defense Cooperation Agreement, which is going to be completely overhauled and renegotiated in 2024. So this roadmap is to act as a bridge. And one of the things the roadmap says is to make India the logistic hub in the Indo-Pacific.
Yeah.
The Americans want India to be the logistic hub, which means in areas like intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, undersea domain awareness, the repair and maintenance of aircrafts and ships. So there are lots of agenda items even on the bilateral front.
Okay.
So I would say two things. One, we need to get a thorough briefing from our American friends on what is going on in Ukraine and what is going on in Gaza.
Okay.
What is going to happen when Xi Jinping meets Joe Biden? What's happening in the American-Chinese relationship? Because that has implications for India. And finally, of course, the US-India bilateral relationship itself, on which there are a number of items that need to be discussed.
Okay. How are both sides expected to navigate as far as the difference on certain positions is concerned? Because like you rightly mentioned, Ambassador Kumar, that the timings of it is crucial, critical. Is it going to be a bit of a tight walk or balancing act for US Biden administration?
No, look, I think...
What are the challenges?
Yeah, no, I think it will be a frank and honest conversation. Lying to you if I said we will agree on everything. For example, there are indications the Americans might again raise the issue on Canada and ask India, listen, can you cooperate with Canada? That's possible. That is one of the areas that might come up. But on a wide variety of issues, I actually see tremendous strategic convergence between America and India. Especially, Sakal, I think the issue facing United States is today, to put it bluntly to your audience, do the Americans have the strategic bandwidth to handle Ukraine, Gaza, and if something were to happen in South China Sea or Taiwan? Do you think Americans can do this? So that is a question that we have to ask as well, because Indo-Pacific is an important region for India. And the focus seems to be now on Gaza, which is sucking all the oxygen out of speakers and diplomats. And if suddenly something happens in Indo-Pacific, We need to be ready for that. And that is a conversation that I'm sure we will be having with our American friends as well. So I think all in all, I cannot think of a 2+2 that is more timely, because you said in your opening remarks, it takes place against cascading strategic turbulence in which nobody is quite sure what will happen next.
Yes. Ambassador Kumar, yes. Ambassador Kumar, just final question very quickly now. Besides the current timings and the intent of both countries when it comes to the geopolitics, taking the conversations forward, Indian Prime Minister's visit to Washington, D.C. earlier in the year, and then Biden administration, G20, and now today again, the two sides will meet.
Yes, I think, look, I'll be honest, nobody has confirmed it yet, but it appears from newspaper reports that January, India will be quite happy to host a Quad summit. And we may have even extended an invitation to Joe Biden to be the chief guest on 26 January. I'm not speaking because I have some intelligence. I'm merely going to press reports. But the Quad summit is definitely due in India. And preparations have to start because we are already in November. So I think a lot of issues on the agenda. And I think it's a good, when the 2+2 happens, you have two formats. Format is that all four ministers meet because some items are overlapping between the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of External Affairs. But the External Affairs Minister will also have a one-on-one with Tony Blinken, American Secretary, and so will Shri Rajnath Singh with his American counterpart. So you also have that format. So a whole host of issues. And I think it's timely, it's more timely from India's perspective, in my view, because we need to know what the Americans are up to, because the Americans are the ones who are getting involved in Ukraine, in Gaza, and in Quad. So we need to know the American thinking on these issues.
Right. All right. Many thanks, Ambassador Kumar. We'll leave it there due to the paucity of time. Thank you really for joining us on this broadcast.